What if I told you that charging $5,000 for your high ticket coaching would actually get you more clients than just charging 500? Not because you would have to market harder, not because you would suddenly get better at sales, but because the price itself changed everything about who shows up, how they behave, and what happens after they pay. You see, look, most coaches start cheap because they think low prices equal more sales. That is the single most expensive belief in this industry. And today I am going to show you exactly why. See, here's what every new coach believes. Let me know if this rings a bell. If more people can afford it, more people will buy. If more people buy, I make more money. Well, look, that sounds logical and it feels safe, but it is completely wrong because pricing does not work like a gas station. You see, you are not selling a commodity where the lowest price wins. You are selling a transformation, and transformations are valued completely differently. When someone is looking for a coach, a consultant, or a service provider to solve a real problem in their life or in their business, do you know what a $500 price tag says to them? It says that this person is either new, not very good, or not very serious about what they do. That is not what you want to communicate. But that's exactly what low ticket price communicates, whether you intend to or not. And look, I'm not here to completely shit on low ticket. There is a time and a place for it. But if you are just starting out on your very first offer, that is not the time nor the place for it. Here is the part that really hurts. The coaches who charge $500 are working 10 times harder than the coaches who are charging $5,000. You see, they actually literally need 10 times the amount of clients. That means they have to spend 10 times the amount of energy on sales. They have to deal with 10 times the amount of headaches, all to make the same or honestly less money. See, that's not a real business. That is a trap. So the question is not, whether you should charge more. The question is why charging more actually works better for everyone involved. You, your clients, and your business. And look, there are 3 specific reasons I'm saying this. And I'm going to break down each and every single one of them in the next few moments. All right, look, the first reason is perception. Let me give you an example here that has nothing to do with coaching or the online space. Imagine you need surgery, a real surgery, something that is actually very serious and matters. You find 2 different surgeons. One charges $3,000, the other charges $15,000. Same exact procedures, same city, same hospital. But which one do you trust more? The expensive one, obviously. Look, every single time. Because in your mind, subconsciously, the higher price means more experience, more demand, and more importantly, better results. Now, here's the thing. You have no idea if that is actually true. There's the $3,000 surgeon that may just be as skilled, but your brain doesn't care about the objective truth. You see, your brain uses price as a shortcut for quality. See, this is called price signaling, and it works the same exact way in coaching, consulting, and honestly, every single service-based business. When you charge $5,000, the prospect assumes that you are worth $5,000. You see, they actually assume you have the experience, they assume you have the proof, and they assume other people have paid that and gotten the result. See, when you charge $500, they assume quite literally the opposite. Well, they assume that you're just getting started. They assume that your program is basic. They assume that they are taking the risk. So the coach who charges $5,000 actually has an easier time closing because the price itself builds credibility before the sale even starts. Now, look, where you get dangerous with this is with the right marketing, with the right positioning, plus a premium price. Now you are unstoppable. See, the coach who charges $500 has to overcome the buyer's skepticism that a cheap program is even worth their time. You are literally making the sale harder by charging less. I want you to understand that this is the most real theory in business that has ever been a thing. Before I started helping people make money online, I was a real estate agent. And I'll tell you the exact same thing was true. The hardest deals to close were the ones that were the cheapest. The easiest deals to close were the ones who were the most expensive. It works in every single niche, every single business. Now, on to the second reason, and that is client quality. And to be honest, no one ever really talks about this, but it is probably the most important one of them all. See, when someone pays $500 for a coaching program, how committed do you think they really are? Probably not very. $500 is a dinner and a bottle of wine. If your program gets hard, if they hit a wall, if they don't feel like doing the work, they quit. Because the financial cost of quitting is, let's be honest, almost zero. Now, think about someone who's paid $5,000. You see, that person has made a real investment. See, they have skin in the game. They're going to show up. They're going to do the work. They ask questions. They push through resistance because they can't afford not to. This is not theory. Again, I'm telling you, I've seen this over and over again working with clients. I actually just got off the phone earlier today with one of my clients who was struggling with this exact same issue, where his monthly students paying, $250 a month were blaming the program. They were canceling, they were refunding, they were not showing up on the daily activity. I actually showed him this exact principle that I've implemented inside of my other partners' businesses, 5xing their price, 5xing the results, ultimately 5xing your income. Look, the premium client always gets dramatically better results. Not because the program is different, but because their commitment level and mental framework going into the program is completely different. And how committed someone is one of the most important things when it comes to, are they going to get results? Now, here's where this all compounds. Better clients get better results. Now, better results mean better testimonials. Better testimonials make your next sale easier. Your marketing gets stronger, your proof gets stronger, your entire business gets stronger. When you charge $500, you get lukewarm clients who half commit, get mediocre results, and give you, nothing to show for it. Your marketing stays weak. Your proof stays thin, and you ultimately stay stuck. See, the price you charge is not just about revenue. It is about the quality of your entire business ecosystem. Now, before I get into the third reason, I actually built a one-page calculator called the Premium Pricing Calculator that walks you through the exact math of what your offer should cost based on the result you deliver and the revenue that you need. It's free. It's linked down in the description. Go ahead and grab it now so you can actually run your own numbers while we go through this. The third reason is pure math. And once you see it like this, you simply cannot unsee it. Let's say your goal is $10,000 a month in revenue. At $500 per client, you need 20 new clients every single month. 20. That means you need roughly 200 leads to close 20, and that's at a 10% close rate. You need to run that many sales calls, handle that many more onboarding sequences, and manage that many more client relationships. 20 clients a month is a full-time operation. You see, you need systems, you need support, you may even need a bigger team. Now, let's look at the $5,000 model. $10,000 a month at $5,000 per client. Well, you only need 2 clients. 2. That means you need roughly 20 leads. And look, you need to have 20 conversations instead of 200. You're going to onboard 2 people. You manage 2 relationships instead of 20. Same revenue, a fraction of the work, and a fraction of the complexity. And ultimately, a fraction of the stress. And here is what most coaches miss completely. It is actually easier to find 2 people willing to pay you $5,000 than it is to find 20 people to pay you $500. Because the person willing to pay $5,000 is serious. They have a real problem. They need a real solution. They're not shopping for the cheapest option. See, the person who's shopping at $500 is comparison shopping, let's call it. They're looking at 5 other coaches. They want to see who gives the most bonuses, the most modules, the most hours, and they're ultimately just buying based off volume, not value. Now, look, you don't want that buyer, right? You see, that buyer will drain you and ultimately leave. Now, the premium buyer, they decide based on a question, can this person solve my problem? If the answer is yes, then the price is not the issue. Now, I know what you're thinking, but James, I'm just starting out. I don't have the proof to charge $5,000. I do not have the testimonials. I do not have the track record. And look, here's what I'll say to that. You do not need 100 testimonials to charge a premium. You need a clear result. One person that you've helped. One transformation that you can point out and say, this is what happens when you work with me. If you have helped even one person get a result, a friend, a peer, someone you coached even for free, you have enough proof to charge a premium. Proof does not need to be massive. It needs to be specific. See, a specific person, a specific result, in a specific time frame. That is simply enough. Because remember, the premium buyer is not looking for a volume of proof. They're looking for relevance. Does this person understand my specific problem? Can they actually solve it? You see, look, if you answer yes to both of these questions, you can charge $5,000 today. And look, that is actually exactly what I do with the people I work with. We do not start by building a content strategy or running ads. We start by making sure the offer is priced correctly, because every other number in your business is a downstream of your price. Your revenue target, your client count, your workload, your marketing, and more importantly, your profit margin. All of it flows from what you actually charge. Look, get the pricing wrong and nothing else matters. You will simply be working harder than everyone around you and making less. And at that point, you might as well be back in your 9 to 5. However, get the pricing right and everything becomes simpler. Better clients, better results, stronger proof, easier sales. That is a business that you actually want to build. So if you are sitting there right now charging less than you should be because you think it will help you get more clients, now you know the truth. Low prices attract low committed clients who honestly get mediocre results and make your entire business harder to run. Premium pricing attracts serious people, creates better outcomes, and let you actually build a business that doesn't burn you out. You see, that math doesn't lie, and the psychology is actually on your side. If you want to see how to exactly structure the offer that justifies a premium price, the next video you should watch is linked down in the description below. Watch it now, where it actually breaks down the complete framework for building an offer that sells itself at any price point. And I will see you there.